Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. Your man, Eric Wilson, alongside my brother, Mr. Alex Fleming, wearing his Mike Evans jersey because, you know, we doing that NFC South, Florida Summer Review, Fantasy and Flavors, and Buck Report contributor. Alex, my brother, man, what's going on? Happy Taco Tuesday.
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday, and this is my backyard.
There we go.
Talk.
All right, NFC South. Brother, you said on Sunday that the NFC West is the best division in football. After what we've seen transpire in this offseason with the NFC South, I'm going to have to slightly disagree with you because when you have potentially 3 out of 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in this division, bruh, I got to give it to the NFC South. But let's start with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers since we here, and words I thought I would never say with such emphatic enthusiasm. Fire them cannons, bruh, because Tom Brady and Gronk are in the house. Bruh, all right, give it to me. Let's go. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This offense is going to be unstoppable. It's going to be like a welfare check on 1st and 15th. They're going to get paid, and there's not much you can do to stop it. How are you going to stop Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, Cameron Brate, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, the dynamic duo, by the way. Let's not forget about Tyler Johnson from Minnesota, who did his own damn thing. Scotty Miller, that could be Wes Welker 2.0. Ronald Jones, and that dog that you need on your fantasy football squads, Keyshawn Vaughn. I'm only going to say his name once. Remember the name. This is going to be a potent offense, and Tom Brady is going to be fantasy gold. Here's the problem with the Buccaneers.
Wait, there's a problem? Time out. There's a problem with this? I got to hear this one.
There's a problem.
Okay.
2, actually. 2. The defense, you're not running on the Bucs. You're not running on the Bucs. Let me say it the third time. You're not running on the Bucs. Problem is you're passing off. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Teams like Kansas City and the New Orleans Saints are going to be able, and maybe Denver, are going to be able to use the liabilities on the safeties and the corner positions to pass, because you can't run, on the Buccaneers. That's how Daniel Jones was able to get 300-plus yards when some cats on the sports web tried to laugh at me and say that I didn't know what I was talking about. Haha, made you look. Their defense is set up to stop the run, to make you make bad decisions. The problem is that if you have a good quarterback, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, they can make those decisions. Problem number 2, and let's just keep it between you and me. There's no backup behind Tom Brady. Now, this man has only missed 1 season. He was suspended 4 games for another season, but he's only missed 1 season due to injury. But if by somehow someone was able to injure the engine, this whole shit goes down. If Brady stays healthy and they find a way to fix their secondary, thank you for the addition of Antoine Winfield Jr., 11-5, 12-4. I stand by my record. Only problem with that is that it's not going to be good enough to win the division because I still believe the New Orleans Saints are the cream of the crop in this division. But you know who's breathing down their neck? Them damn Pirates. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be a problem this year.
Okay. 2 questions I have to ask you. My first question is, when I look at the schedule for the Bucs, traditionally when you look at their schedule, it is full of 1 o'clock games and maybe a few 4 o'clock sprinkled in here or there.
Not today.
Alex, to quote LeBron James, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5. 5 prime time games. When you are not used to having that much exposure put on you, do you believe that the rest of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can handle that added pressure?
Let me break this down for all the haters and all the people who were anti-Winston. If you had a field goal kicker, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished 10-6. If you had a safety who could stop Seattle, you go 11-5. This team is full of playmakers. Godwin, Evans, best wide receiver duo in the league. I'm not even listening to anybody else in that. The running game was an eyesore. Peyton Barber and Jones couldn't get the job done. Y'all don't know about Keyshawn Vaughn. That's the second time I said his name. Don't make me say it a third time. Bright lights. Nobody does it like Raymond James. We are hosting the Super Bowl. There's a reason why this team is going to be ready for the bright lights.
Okay.
Chicago. Then after that, Green Bay. Then we go to the Death Star and the Raiders. We get to play the Phallus, known as the Los Angeles Rams. And then we got KC. We on Monday Night Football, bruh. You know how long it's been since Tampa Bay's been relevant? 2007. You lucky I can't come through that screen. I tell you something right now. Tampa Bay, get ready to fire the cannons.
Okay. All right. I'm not even going to go into my second question because we got to keep it moving. You say 12-4. I will agree with you.
12-4, 11-5.
I will agree with you, and I will also say 12-4. So now, since you want to call them the cream of the crop, and yes, they made the necessary adjustments and additions to their team. First and foremost, they brought back home, if you will, Malcolm Jenkins for the defense, and they added Emmanuel Sanders to the offense. Oh, and by the way, you went and got a backup who knows your divisional opponent that you're going to see week 1 in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm guaranteeing you, he probably remembers and can see some of the plays that Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich is putting out there. And he can relay that information to Sean Payton, who then can relay it to Drew Brees, who then can pick apart the defenses. So let's get into the New Orleans Saints. Because for all that is good and holy, let me first say this to you. Drew Brees, very much like Tom Brady, is on the end of his astounding and outstanding career. But Father Time is undefeated.
Yep.
You are one injury away. And what you don't want, in my humble opinion, is have to utilize Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston to get you through this season. Now, we've seen Drew Brees come back. And I know Drew Brees now has an extra added stress on his shoulder because not only does he have to see Brady twice a year, but they are going to be constantly competing for who has the most touchdown passes throughout the season. It's going to change week by week by week.
Yep.
So I cannot in good conscience look at this team and say to myself, yes, you have beefed up your defense, and yes, you have added some more weapons on offense. You still have, in my opinion, to date, probably the most elusive running back in Alvin Kamara. And I say to you, the New Orleans Saints, looking at this schedule, will come up one game short. And they will go 11-5. Probably, as you said earlier when it came to the Rams, when you said earlier this week, or Sunday, I should say, a respectable 11-5 New Orleans Saints.
Here's the funny thing that I actually feel is going to happen. I'm not Nostradamus, but the Saints have been consistently getting screwed or laying down. The Minnesota Miracle, bro, they were going to win that game. There was only 10 seconds left. They didn't kill him in the locker room. Fine. They came back and were the number 1 seed that next year. You, me, and anybody with 2 eyes knows that they were robbed. The problem is that they came back next year, had that great record, but ended up the 3 seed and got beat up by Minnesota again. Alvin Kamara was injured last year. He's healthy, number 1. The addition of Latavius Murray means more numbers for Alvin Kamara. Cesar Ruiz, is a center dash guard. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. They drafted a center last year. You know what? When you have a good offensive line, that protects your quarterback, that opens holes for your running back, and that allows you for play action. What was missing on this offense with can't guard Mike? A number 2 wide receiver, because Traquan Smith wasn't the answer. Well, gee, Aaron Emmanuel Sanders, who put in work with the San Francisco 49ers. And if Jimmy G knew how to throw a football, he'd have a ring on his finger against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's not forget about Janoris Jenkins. You mentioned Malcolm Jenkins, but you didn't mention Janoris Jenkins. So now teams with the 3 wide receiver set ain't going to be no thing. Oh, and Cam Jordan, he already talking about he wants some of Tom Brady, and he ain't even enthused. Bro, I think everyone from Sean Payton all the way down to the punter knows that it is now or never. Nothing is promised next year. Drew Brees will be out the door. They're going to have to find a way to coin flip whether they want some guy who's a gadget player or an injury and interception-prone quarterback taking over the helm. Sean Payton beat COVID ID. There's a lot of things happening in New Orleans, and let me tell you, if you thought you saw an angry New Orleans team these last 2 or 3 years when they were running roughshod in the division, you got another thing coming. There is nothing promised for the number 2 seed. All you get is 2 home games and then maybe a trip to number 1. Because while you slaving on the field, they got a home game sipping their tea. The only people who have a promise to go to the NFC Championship game is the number 1 seed. And that's why the New Orleans Saints are going to be that buck. And here's the other issue. The Saints might only be 1 game better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but as long as they're 1 game better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the division is stronger than San Francisco's, they're going to get that first-round bye. The Saints are primed and ready.
All right.
And I think there's going to be not 1, not 2, but 3 meetings between Tampa Bay and New Orleans this year.
Well, that being said, then let's move on to the other 2 teams in that division. We've got, if you will, the new-look Carolina Panthers with Teddy Bridgewater and Christian McCaffrey basically running the show. And then you have a team which I just cannot get behind because I still put them – I'll even go on record as saying right now, Atlanta, you 8-8. That's what you are. That's what you gonna be.
No, they ain't. No, they ain't.
Okay.
Okay. Atlanta is basura. And let me tell you why. You got Calvin Ridley, and you got one of the best wide receivers that's going to go down in history, Julio.
Thank you.
Jones.
But you brought in Todd Gurley.
Oh, yeah. What? That's a big thing?
He's home.
Allow me to retort.
Please.
Yeah, he was a Georgia Bulldog. Yeah, he originally from Baltimore, first and foremost. Secondly, he got arthritis, and that's something Bayer and Advil can't fix. Number 2, Tampa Bay is number 1 against the run. Number 3, New Orleans Saints was top 5 against the run. Ain't nobody scared of Atlanta except for maybe them Pussycats and the Carolina Panthers. And your defense can't stop a nosebleed. You couldn't get C.J. Henderson. You couldn't draft up to get Jeffrey Okudah. So you're going to have this man, A.J. Terrell, be burnt toast against Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You can't guard Mike, and DJ Moore. You're doing that corner a disservice. Your offensive line can't stay healthy, bro. And for all the good things that Matt Ryan is, oh, he has Hall of Fame numbers. Oh, he can sling the ball like all that. He's SpongeBob SquarePants. You put him in a position where there's pressure on the line, like 28-3 lead, and he busts like glass in a freezer. This team is soft. They're not doing much of anything. To all my people in the NFC South fans, yeah, I said it. 4-12, and I'm being nice.
Wow, 4-12. Okay, so then I have to ask you, brother, what are you giving Carolina? Because Carolina's been rebuilding for the past 2 years now. You've got another quarterback in. You paid McCaffrey all this money. I mean, bruh, let me look at this really quick. You got DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel as your wide receivers.
Yep.
You got Farrell Cooper, who might be able to come in should something happen. I'm also looking at a DeAndrew, White, Seth Roberts. Teddy Bridgewater is going to just be able to have to go out there and pretty much do exactly what Cam did. Throw that cape on your chest, around the necks, brother. Put that S on your chest, because he might have to be Batman to Christian McCaffrey being Robin. But this duo's going to have to find a way to get it done. I cannot, in good conscience, look at Carolina and say to you, Carolina's going to get more than 6 wins, bro. I got Carolina at 6-10. 6-10.
I got Carolina at 6-10, but with the more potent offense than what people see. Okay, for those who don't know about Matt Rule, he turned around that Baylor program. You know who went to Baylor? Robbie Anderson. He's got rapport with some of the wide receivers in that room already. You know who's going to help Robbie Anderson? DJ Moore. Look for him to take a step up, because that Maryland Terrapin was a terrorist. His years in college and slightly his first year in Carolina. People are sleeping on the running game. Do people not remember that Christian McCaffrey was one of only 3 running backs to have 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving? Oh, newsflash, Teddy Bridgewater is a winner anywhere he goes. People counting him out in Louisville playing against the Florida Gators. What happened? He sent a lot of Gators home crying. People counting him out in Minnesota. What did he do? Almost win the division the first year he was a starter. He's finally a starter now. He's healthy. They may only go 6-10. I agree with you. But don't sleep on them Carolina Panthers. And as far as the defense is concerned, yeah, they passed up on Isaiah Simmons. But Isaiah Simmons wouldn't be able to help the defense unless you had a run stop on the front 4. That's where Derek Brown comes in. You can't have B before you have A. And Derek Brown is A on that defensive line. Look for them to try to stop the run game a little bit more. Look for them to be retooled in that secondary. Yeah, they're going to bend. I don't believe they're going to break. Carolina is going to be more competitive than what people give credit for. So,
you know what? Yeah. Go ahead.
Trash,
yeah.
ATL, competitive, Carolina, Tampa Bay, fire them cannons, cream of the crop, let the good times roll, New Orleans.
Okay. One thing I did want to say to you, you know what matchup I'm actually looking at their schedule? I'm excited to see Teddy Bridgewater versus Tyrod Taylor in week 3, Carolina at the LA Chargers. Because I think that's going to be a game that a lot of people may just sleep on. I think that's going to be a very exciting game, man. I think
that's going to be a shootout.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are going to sleep on that game. If I was a fantasy guy, I would be very quick to pick up any players that I could. Circle it. Yes, sir. All right, really quick to recap for Taco Tuesday. Alex has the cream of the crop, New Orleans Saints at 13-3, followed by Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 12-4. Carolina Panthers at a very competitive 6-10. And then bottom of the barrel in the ATL, Atlanta Falcons at 4-12. I have Tampa winning the division at 12-4, followed by New Orleans at 11-5. ATL being mediocre, because that's what I feel they are. And Carolina, again, part of the rebuilding process, learning how to win with this new system at a 6-10. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. Hey, tomorrow, NFC East. So you know I got a lot to say. I don't know if Alex is going to get a word in edgewise, but Florida Sun Review, Fantasy and Flavors, Buck Report contributor. What's up, bro?
I just want to say, even Tom and Jerry was trying to eat the bird. Pirates would shoot birds whenever they were hungry at the boat. And the Saints serve birds on the grill. There's going to be a lot of raw bird served in this division with them sorry y'all tampon Atlanta Falcons.
All right. That being said, we're going to get out of here. Hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow. It is Hump Day Wednesday, NFC East style. We'll talk to you guys.